Zainab was born into a small village where life was simple, but very hard. Her mother sold roasted corn by the roadside, and her father worked as a bricklayer under the hot sun. Their income was barely enough to survive, but they raised Zainab with love, and with the hope that one day she could rise above the struggles that surrounded her. Zainab always showed signs of determination. While others rested after long days, she was always searching for ways to help her family. She understood early that life would never hand her anything easily. She would have to build her own path, brick by brick, with her own hands. When Zainab turned 18, her dream became clear. She wanted to learn a skill, something powerful enough to break the chains of poverty. With the money she had saved from small jobs, she walked to the oldest tailor in her village and begged him to teach her how to sew. The man looked at her, surprised by her boldness, but finally agreed. Her journey as a seamstress was far from easy. The first time she touched the sewing machine, it felt like an impossible mountain. Her stitches were rough, the fabric tore, and her hands shook. Sometimes the needle pricked her fingers until they bled. But instead of quitting, Zainab grew more determined. She created her own rhythm of discipline. Every morning before dawn, she was outside, sketching dress patterns in the sand with a stick. And every night, after cooking and cleaning for her family, she returned to her sewing machine, her face lit only by the faint glow of a lantern. She worked until her eyes burned from exhaustion. Months turned into years. Slowly, her skill improved. Zainab began sewing clothes for women in her street. They admired her neat work and her creativity. With the little money she earned, she bought her first second-hand sewing machine. It was not new, but it was hers, and that machine became her weapon against poverty. Her passion and dedication soon attracted attention. People from nearby towns began bringing cloth to her. They loved not just her skill, but her honesty and humility. What started as a single table and one machine grew into a real shop. Soon, her single machine multiplied into many, and Zainab had built a small team of women eager to learn from her. Her name spread far and wide. She was no longer just a village seamstress. She was a businesswoman. Weddings, celebrations, even government events began to seek her designs. She built a fashion house that stood tall and bright, a symbol of what hard work could achieve. But Zainab's success was not just measured in money. It was in the lives she touched. With her riches, she built her mother a beautiful home, replacing the old crumbling house they had struggled in for years. She paid her siblings' school fees without hesitation. And beyond her family, she opened her doors to others, teaching women skills that could help them stand on their own feet. Zainab became more than just a seamstress. She became a light, a living proof that hard work, patience, and determination could turn even the humblest beginnings into greatness. One afternoon, as she stood in her fashion house, watching her apprentices sewing with joy and pride, Zainab thought about the road she had traveled. The girl who once bled from sewing needles in a dimly lit room had now become a woman of wealth, respect, and influence. She smiled softly and whispered to herself, "This is only the beginning. My story is not just mine, it belongs to everyone who dares to dream." And so, the story of Zainab was no longer just about how she gained her riches. It became a story of hope for all who heard it, a reminder that no matter where you start, with resilience, faith, and endless hard work, you can build your own path to greatness.